Hello Internet, I'm me, and this is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 3, Episode 11. I got the numbers right this time. But this episode... well, okay, let's just be frank. This episode is really cute. Other than that, there's not much here. This episode is a Spike episode, which I thought, with it being another Spike episode, we'd probably dive into Spike's Dragon Past. Nope. Alright, but of course I never actually read the synopsis ahead of time, so I can always be surprised and take in the episode with a fresh mind. But this episode is actually Spike babysitting all the different critters, aka sidekicks, who barely show up in the show, babysitting all those critters, aka sidekicks, aka the Cutie Mark Crusaders as well, for no random reason except for them to be there, while the main six go off to a welcoming party in the Crystal Pony City. Now, I do have a big question about this episode, and there's actually a big reveal in this episode where it's like the Phoenix that Spike got from the Dragon episode, he actually went back and returned, and they show it in a picture where he sees the baby Phoenix back in the nest with its Phoenix parents, and Spike is like, whoops! I'm like, okay. Alright, retcon. That's a good way to get rid of a character, right out of character. But, alright, cool. Which I did have a question about that, going like, so you're okay with not knowing your parents as long as you could take another animal and take it away from their parents. Alright, cool, Spike, you're not a hypocrite, but you keep the cycle going. But this episode, Spike is trying to make a awesome gem-encrusted cake, which he fails to do by eating all the gems before he can even make the cake. So he ends up having no gems after saving up his gems for so long, and decides when Fluttershy comes over to have Spike watch Angel in exchange for a giant gem, Spike goes around to the other main six, taking care of all the different critters so that he can have a bunch of more gems and so that he can make his cake and eat it too. But instead of actually paying attention to the animals for the afternoon, probably 3 hours, that he has to actually watch the animals, he decides to just fantasize over the cake that he will be making. Therefore, hilarity ensues. Angel gets away and starts running around and making a muck. Tank keeps running into Spike's head, which he wears a helmet later, so that doesn't, do too much. And the other animals kind of don't do much, other than the owl. I keep forgetting his Owlicious keeps saying who, and it's like, oh, it's me! Who? Me! Oh, funny. Not too much actually happens in this episode of significance. But Spike, I do have to say, gets really kind of selfish and annoying in this episode. Mostly because I know, it's part of the dragon greed thing, but it's just like, immediately, like, Spike is already, like, ignoring everyone. I'm surprised none of the main six just went, you know what, Spike, we're not going to let you babysit our, critters, because you know what, you're barely paying attention to what you're doing. Because even Twilight's like, Spike, do you know what you're doing? Uh-huh, yeah, sure. He doesn't know what he's doing. Take the critters away from him. I would have said that, or had somebody else watch over Spike, because almost right after Spike gets all the critters, and he loses Angel almost immediately, goes out to look for Angel, and then finds him in the Cutie Mark Crusaders clubhouse. So Spike decides to do the responsible thing and leave the Cutie Mark Crusaders with all the other animals in exchange for giving them one of the smallest, tiniest little gems that he got from Rarity. The element of kindness, of generosity, gave him the tiniest one, while Fluttershy gave him like a freaking giant gem. That was actually pretty generous of her. But of course, after he tries to give them off to the Cutie Mark Crusaders kind of screw up. I mean, Spike literally manipulates them. Like, oh, you want to go look for your cutie marks? Well, what if you guys are critter babysitters, huh? Well, to get your cutie mark for that, you should take care of all these animals for me. Yeah, yeah, you can do it. I mean, that is very manipulative and kind of assholish of Spike to do. Just kind of like, oh, let me manipulate these people who I know will do it so that I don't have to, and I can go make a cake out of 3 or 4 gems. It's not even that much. Like I love that he even like looks at the cake and goes, "Oh, 1,000 carat diamond encrusted, gem encrusted cake." I'm like, you have 4 gems. One of them is big enough, but the rest of them are like tiny as hell. But of course, after hearing the Kingdom Crusaders utterly failing at watching over 6 animals, he decides to go back and actually, walk them around and actually watch them. But during the whole process, Zecora takes another gem from him to give it to charity. And then he runs into the Sweet Apple Acres, and he gives a gem to Granny Smith to keep a little hush hush. That's right. Spike is not only a lying, selfish asshole who doesn't care and will ditch his responsibilities on others, but he's also an extortionist who will pay others to keep quiet about his misdeeds. For kids. And of course, after that, he loses Angel again. I mean, Jesus Christ, Angel. I'm seriously questioning why anybody takes Angel's shit. But Angel runs off onto a train on which Spike tries to follow, but the train conductor won't let him on because, well, he's bringing animals with him. So he decides to take the Cutie Mark Crusaders, who are about to try to skydive off a bridge. Not a good idea. It takes them onto the train as, oh, I got 3 ponies with me, so not gonna go on the train? Yeah, yeah. And they go to the Crystal Pony. The train heads to the Crystal Palace, where the main 6 are. Because Angel was actually trying to just rat out Spike for being a loser. Not a bad plan, but still, kind of a douchebag move. Anywho, Angel gets off the train, and they spend, like, I guess, 2 minutes in the Crystal Kingdom. And Angel tries to go and warn Fluttershy that Spike is being very irresponsible. But, of course, Spike dodges the bullet and gets Angel back onto the train, where he actually does finally admit, well, once they almost get caught, he does finally admit that he's been very selfish and hasn't actually been thinking about the animals he's been taking care of and has been given the responsibility of taking care of, but has been just, well, thinking of himself and that delicious, amazing cake that he's been going on about for so long in this episode. Heck, even I want to try a gem-encrusted cake, even though I'm pretty sure it would break my teeth. So, at the end of the episode, the animals all come back, and, the Cutie Mark Crusaders are there, and everything's all good and happy. What do I think of this episode? Again, Spike is a huge asshole, and it almost goes past the dragon greed part of it all, because it's just kind of like, well, dude, that's not greed anymore, that's just you being a dick. But honestly, this episode was again, it was cute. It was very cute. I was actually pretty happy with with how the characters interacted, even though I'm pretty sure we could have done this entire episode without the Cutie Mark Crusaders, because they almost amount to nothing. They don't do much, if anything at all. They find Angel. Well, actually, they don't even find Angel. Angel goes to them. Because we just figured out that, Angel's an attention whore. But, other than that, the pets with the least amount of actual screen time are Opal, Essence, and Gummy. But Gummy does have the best joke in the entire episode with Pinkie Pie. Oh, God. There should be a spin-off show just called Gummy and Pinkie Pie. I think that would be a great show. I think it would be a great spin-off. Or at least like a little mini webisode series where it's like 2 minutes long. And you just have Gummy and Pinkie Pie off to the side just doing their thing. That would be hilarious. But other than that, like most of the pets didn't do much except for Tank hitting into things because it was funny. Uh, Angel being a dick and running around. Uh, the dog didn't do much. Aloysius didn't do much. Opalescence tore shit up like a normal cat, but then again, didn't do much. And Gummy was funny. So yeah, the pets didn't do too much, but they did run amok. They did run a good muck. And you do get to see a lot. I think the progression of Spike should have been a bit more natural of a flow, where he's actually trying to. There should have been at least. I think it could have all been contained inside Twilight's library, where it's just all being wrecked up, and slowly but surely, Spike is, not just sacrificing the gems, but is also trying to get all the critters under control so that he can make his cake. Like he tries to get everybody under control for like a second, and then he goes to try to make his cake, and then he realizes that he's got to stop focusing on he spends less and less time on the cake and more on them. And at the end of the episode, where he finally gets them patted down and like on a nap or something, he realizes that like he goes to make the cake, and then he realizes, you know what, this was the right thing to do, to like take care of these critters, and this was my responsibility, and stuff like that. But this episode was pretty good too. Again, it was really cute. Cute is the big word in this episode. Just like cute. But oh god, I wanted to do that. But other than that, this episode is a good 7.5 out of 10. It's quite average, and some parts could have been cut right out of this episode, and you would not have lost any parts of the story. As simple as it is, you wouldn't have lost any parts. Again, the resolution kind of seemed a bit like from Spike going, I just want to go make my cake, to, I was wrong. Maybe I should have been taking responsibility for these critters. In like a nanosecond. But still, it's a good episode. I'll leave the link in the description. But until next time, y'all, peace.